We are in Germany, Schwerin, near Hamburg, company FVH GmbH. Early they were known as Ecophoenix. Website is no longer available. And also many knew it was the reference plant of HydroDyn, a manufacturer of plastic washing plants. The concept of the plant is to recycle highly contaminated post-consumer film into extrusion-grade and blow-film pellets. This is an example of a recycling facility where all the recyclers' dreams come true. Often it seemed that some recycling Santa came with a huge bag of gifts and distributed them without any restrictions, and the guys indulged themselves. But not everything is so simple. Next we will analyze both pros and cons. Executive Director Michael Hoffman. So let's begin. The plant consists of 4 main areas: raw material storage zone, preliminary dry processing zone, wet processing zone and extrusion zone. Plastic waste in bales are stored in separate boxes separated by 6-meter concrete walls. Even from here, it's clear that investments were abundant for this plant. Most often, raw materials are stored in open areas, even in the most advanced recycling plants. And here we can see a separate building with an area of at least 1,200 square meters. The plastic really dirty. Mixed LDPE film from municipal waste sorting facilities, black covering film and agricultural film. From the warehouse, the bales are transported to the first recycling stage, which is coarse shredding and dry mechanical treatment. This is of course a super feature and a super stage. Many recyclers would love to have this pre-shredding and dry treatment processing stage. Dry treatment can extract maximum heavy impurities such as metals, stones and sand from plastic, and it will save all subsequent recycling machines and significantly reduce the operation costs of wastewater treatment. Clamp loaders feed the material into the pit of the feeding conveyor, from where it goes to shredder for primary grinding with a screen size of about 60 mm. After the shredder, ferrous metals are extracted with metal separator. Then flakes go through a vibrating sieve, where a substantial part of the sand, glass, etc. are removed. After dry treatment, the material goes to the 100 cubic meters storage sealer. The washing and the wastewater treatment machines are in the main part of the main workshop with an area of about 1,800 square meters. First, material is transported with vertical screw conveyor up to the roof and then by horizontal conveyor till the reversible screw conveyor, where the flow may be divided into 2 parts, because from this point and on we have not one washing line but 2. The idea is to have always one washing line available for maintenance and another one always running. It was an option from Recycling Santa which was difficult to refuse. Your business plans seem to need one washing line, but Santa says you don't be shy. Take 2 just in case, just not to worry about anything. So from this point and on, we can see 2 lines of the same equipment in parallel. After the reversible conveyor, the material goes to the first small sink float tank. Here, the first contact with water takes place. After sink float tanks, we can see washing centrifuges. Intensive washing takes place here. Then, with big screw conveyors, the material is fed to secondary shredding. The shredding with a screen size of not more than 20 mm. After the shredder, the flakes go to another 100 cubic meter sealer. In total, we will see these big storage sealers in 3 stages: after dry treatment, after second shredding, and in the end of washing and drying process right before the extrusion stage. These big sealers are also undoubtedly a great convenience. Almost no breakdown will stop the entire recycling process. It's also important for scheduled maintenance and repair works. From the storage sealer, the material is fed through another long screw conveyor under the ceiling to another flow divider. The material can again move along the parallel lines and first goes into the friction washers, after them into the hot washing tanks. After hot washing, we can see another HydroDyn know-how. It is a super washing machine. They call it hydrodynamic centrifuge. This is a relatively small centrifuge with couple of discs inside. Between these discs, the material undergoes very intensive friction, a kind of washboard effect. The idea is interesting but not yet proven enough. Already there are reviews from the first users that the discs are worn off in a month or two, and the cost of replacing is about 9,000 euros. This gift will probably be returned to Santa next Christmas. Next is the drying stage. There were some disappointments here, but Santa returned twice and fixed the problem. The first version of drying system, which was bought from subcontractor, didn't prove to be effective. That is this flat pipes system. As in this case, someone made drying system for them and it didn't work, got clogged and didn't dry enough. The centrifuge dryer also didn't prove itself very well. What exactly was wrong with it, they didn't say. As a result, the guys had to call Santa again and buy a new drying system. Simpler and more traditional one with large diameter pipes and a gas furnace. After washing line, the washed and dry flakes are stored again in the big silo and then fed by screw conveyor into the next workshop for extrusion and pelletizing. A separate workshop is also allocated for the extruder. Thanks again to Santa. It's always great when the washing process is separated from the extrusion. The Interema 2021 TVE Plus is a very large machine with 200 mm screw with all the newest options such as cutter compactor counter drive, vacuum degassing, additive feeders, etc. But the most prominent feature of this machine is that it has 3 laser filters. Santa is like, "Dear recycler, what filter would you like?" "What about laser one?" Santa, "Easy peasy, lemon squeezy." Recycler, "What about 2? Santa, "Here you go." Recycler, 3. He was in a very good mood, so he said, "Take 3, I don't mind." If seriously, triple laser filter is only one of the models of the Irema laser filters line. There is a quadruple filter too. And it is important to understand that a triple filter doesn't mean 3 stages of filtration. This is only a division of the melt flow into 3 filters to ensure the overall output capacity of the big extruder. Therefore, such a choice of extruder doesn't seem obvious in our humble opinion. If a higher degree of filtration was targeted, why not choose a 2-stage extruder with a second filtration zone? If production non-interruption process was targeted, why not to choose 2 smaller independent extruders instead of a big one? After all, if something goes wrong with one machine and the only pelletizing machine on a plant, the production of a regranulate ceases. Part of the regranulate is packed in big bags, but most of it is stored separately in the outdoor silos. This cold homogenization also has a secret. The process of mixing and averaging the different batches of the pellets is undoubtedly a useful and necessary thing for the further processors. But large sealers mixers allow the recycler to buy a low quality cheap pellets from the third parties and mix it with its own high quality pellets. You add 10%, the quality degree is not noticeable to anyone, but the benefit is quite clear. The laboratory is also luxurious comparing with many other recycling plants. Traditional testing of MFI can be done with equipment for 3,000–4,000 euros, but here we can see an Instron Guest MF20 for about 10,000 euros. There are mini film blowing extruder for blowing the film samples. If in the last video about Radepa recycling in the Netherlands there was some Chinese mini extruder for about 10,000 euros. Here we can see Belgian LabTech for about 50,000 euros. And they even have a device for thermal analysis. This device from Mettler Toledo for about 80,000 euros allows you, for example, to measure the percentage of PP in the LDP regranulate. Santa was very generous for lab equipment too. Wastewater treatment system, which by the way occupies not less area than the two washing lines, provides a closed loop of water with a minimum editing of fresh water and minimum drainage to sewage system. At all stages of the washing line, sand and fines are collected using sand separators, rotating drum screens and static screens. By the way, they have a lot of fines, these small plastic and paper pieces. It's an unpleasant flip side of intensive friction washing and grinding. Further, we can see traditional chemical stage, which is wastewater purification using conical lamella setting tanks. Sludge dehydration takes place in a screw dehydrator Ishigaki screw press, made in Austria. Part of the fines is collected and dehydrated with more simple equipment. Seems like Santa had already left the plant and guys had to come up with more economical solutions. Should be noted that almost all machines are equipped with sensors integrated into a plant management system and processing control system. The control system is a kind of monitoring unit in a separate room, which also includes a video surveillance system that allows you to visually control the entire plant and all processes. The whole technological process you can see on this diagram. The main conclusion: too much money is not always good, yet you have to be able to spend them effectively. Judging by the final extruder, plant production capacity can be up to 1,000 tons per month. Rumor says 25 million euros were invested in the plant. We can't confirm this amount, but we easily calculated more than 12 million euros for machinery only. To add building, lead and communications, it may well be more than 25 million. The guys purchased all possible and impossible machinery. At the same time, in our humble opinion, many dubious decisions were made, such as very controversial configuration of washing lines and choice of the machines, not proven hydrodynamic centrifuges, lack of good flotation stage, doubtful effectiveness of hot washing and drying. Big storage silos are a good idea, but can they really accumulate at least half of the volume without clogging? We don't know. Only one pelletizing line, with even big one, with only one filtration step is also seems not enough. Excessive and expensive laboratory equipment. As a result, on one hand, we can see many machines which are excessive, not proven and too expensive. On the other hand, there is lack of necessary machines that would be able to provide bigger output of the plant and better quality of regranulate. With such investments, in our opinion, the plant has to recycle at least 2,000 tons per month and yet resell about 6,000–8,000 tons per month. Or maybe operating profit has never been among the goals of the project.